My father owned this gigantic workplace. Well, unfortunately, he passed away. Me and my sister now inherited the family business, but the problem here is, well, me and my sister don't get along at all, and we are at each other's neck. She wants to do one thing, and I want to do the other, but let me walk you through exactly what made me blow a fuse. I need to get something off my chest. My sister and I used to be tight as heck, but ever since our father passed away, things have been going haywire. We inherited our family business, and it's like she's trying to outdo me at every single turn. Not that I feel threatened in any way, but she's becoming more like a pest, and I'm this close to calling pest control. It started small. We had disagreements about which direction the company should take or which product to invest in, but then it got ugly really fast. She dissed me in front of other employees or even vetoed my ideas without even hearing me out. And don't even get me started on the time that she took to take credit for a project that I've been slaving over for months. I'm not even going to explain what happened because I totally would go on a rant and just get distracted from the post. I tried to talk to her about it, but she just brushed me off. It's just business, she would say. Don't take it personally. But it was personal. This was our family legacy, and I wanted to make sure we're keeping it going the best way possible. Now, I know some of you must be assuming I'm super sensitive and can't handle a little rough treatment. That's not it at all. My feathers have been ruffled a few times by Sammy and other friends and colleagues alike. It's just that Sammy knows me, like really well, and she knows exactly what will get on my nerves, so I always look like a bull in the china shop when she triggers me, and she ends up looking like a sweet angel. And then things really hit the fan. My sister started dating one of our employees. Let's call him Thomas. Now, Thomas and I had a bit of a history. I'd always had a crush on him, but I never acted on it because he was my colleague. But my sister did not seem to care about that. Not at all. She starts flaunting her relationship with Thomas in front of me, and it was like a punch to the gut every single time. I tried to be happy for her, I really did, but it was hard seeing the guy I had feelings with my sister. Don't judge me. I didn't even know Sammy liked him, let alone would start dating him. So when she flaunted her relationship with Thomas, that was just on another level. The audacity she had made my blood boil. And then things got even worse. Thomas started confiding in me, telling me things about my sister that I did not want to hear. He said that she was controlling, manipulative, and jealous. I tried to defend her, but the more that he talked, the more I started to see his point. And don't even get me started on the new hire I brought in. See, she's a real boss, and my sister can't stand her. It's like we're playing some twisted game of chess. I know you all must be confused as to why Sammy doesn't like her. Even I don't know. I mean, heck, sometimes I feel she hates her because I was the one who brought in exceptional employees, who actually provided value to the company and drove results. Unlike so many other employees that she hired, who were just sucking us dry of money with no real value. I know some of y'all are probably thinking I'm the bad guy here, but I swear I'm not. I just want what's best for the business, and I feel like my sister's putting her own interest above that. I don't know, maybe I'm just tripping. Maybe I'm just trying to prove our parents and everyone else that I'm just as good as my sister. So, yeah. You can go ahead and judge me all you want. Judge me for thinking that my sister's selfish and puts her own interest over the company. Judge me for overthinking every decision I make. Judge me for trying to prove that I am worth it. After all, I'm human and I'm flawed, but at least I accept that. Sammy's ego is in the sky and she believes that she's perfect. But here's the thing. This rivalry is tearing us apart. We can't even be in the same room without getting into it. Just last week at the office, we've been in the lunchroom on break when she scoffed at me as I drank my carton of chocolate milk. It's my personal preference. How does that even affect her, I would wonder to myself. Beats me anyways. I asked her what's wrong, and she scrunched up her face to give this weird, disgusted look and said I was so immature. And me being me, instead of ignoring her, I had to reply, and it ended up in an absolute gigantic argument. In the end, we could not even remember why we fought until after, well, it was the chocolate milk. Our personal lives are taking a hit. I can't stand seeing my crush with my sister, and I know she feels the same way about the new hire that I brought in. We live in different houses, but my mother insists we meet every Friday for dinner at her place, since, our father passed away. Well, something about spending time with your loved ones. Anyways, Sammy makes it a point to bring Thomas to all these family dinners. Yes, I'm jealous. I am admitting it, and yes, I know when someone starts dating, they become, quote, part of the family. But I just can't stand it when they look at each other with these googly eyes and kiss each other every single other minute. He was supposed to be mine. So, of course, yes, I was a bit jealous. And obviously I didn't like it. She didn't have to rub it in my face. I knew he was hers. Anyways, I think the biggest disagreement we ever had was when a new investment opportunity absolutely just landed on our laps. Well, I was all for one direction and she wanted to go another. Instead of discussing it like two grown adults, we had to get into a fight like kids. It's not that I want to fight with her, she's just so infuriating. You can't help but argue back with her. Aside from her, making you so mad, I knew some decisions she made with regard to the company were selfish, self-centered, and extremely short-sighted. But as you all know, Sammy has a huge ego, and she doesn't want to accept any of these faults. She instead directed all her anger at me. As if screaming at a person ever sorted a problem, we went back and forth for hours and it got pretty heated. Finally, she lost it, stormed out, slamming the door behind her. I sat there for a minute trying to collect myself. I knew we could not keep this crap up. We had to find a way to work together or else the company was going to fall apart. I thought about it for a while when I went home. I needed to figure out how we could set our differences aside and make things work, whether we liked it or not. Our father had put so much effort into the company, not to have it ruined at the hands of his daughters who simply could not get along. So, I sent her a message asking if we could meet and talk things out. She took her sweet time responding to it, but eventually she agreed. That's what I can't stand about her. I'm the one who always has to compromise. I have to think of a way to patch it up. I have to forgive and forget. I always had the shorter end of the stick. I was just so done with her and all their antics. The only reason I continued on was, the business. I knew Father would not have liked to see us like this, especially over business because he started it for the two of us. We met up at a coffee shop over the weekend, and it was awkward as heck at first. We were both just staring at our drinks, avoiding eye contact, and we had been like that for the longest time. I think the shop owner looked like he wanted to kick us out for not ordering anything, except for a little drink. And we've been hogging a full table. Well, there was nothing discussed, but then something happened. I don't know what, we both just started opening up. But hold up, Sammy wasn't the one to start talking. No, it was me. Again. And I spoke about Dad and how the business was his baby, and I guess that's what's got her to open up and talk to me about what is going on inside of her head. We talked about how much we missed our father and how hard it was to keep the business going without him. We talked about our hopes and fears for the company and how we both wanted to be successful, and we just wanted to succeed. Anyways, we would have thought we were two normal siblings enjoying a cup of coffee and croissants at a quiet cafe. But things took a turn really fast. See, before I get into it, you know how it ended up like that and why our relationship is now past the point of fixing. Anyways, we spoke for a while, and it was like a weight's been lifted off my shoulders. I never had this sort of conversation with her, and it felt really good to be talking about my troubles. Hold up. It's not that I don't have friends, because I do. It's just that they would not understand the problems I go through as much as Sammy, because she's going through them with me. We both eventually apologized for our crappy behavior and agreed to try to work together. So, after our heart-to-heart at the coffee shop, my sister and I decided to make some changes. We agreed to start communicating better, making decisions together rather than constantly trying to one-up each other. I was feeling hopeful, you know? But all these feelings of hope were dashed and ruined. Something happened that threw everything off. My sister found out that I was talking crap about her behind her back. I didn't even know how it got out, but hey, it did. And now she's cut me off absolutely completely. The last time we spoke was at the cafe. We've been at the office for 3 days now. Work's gone on as usual, not without its hiccups, but I thought we could repair our relationship and get back to things just the normal. I've tried contacting her through text messages and phone calls, but she won't answer anything. She either leaves me unread or the calls go directly to voicemail. I've tried talking to Thomas and finding out what's going on through her head, and guess what? He was just as clueless as me. One thing with Sammy is that once she gets into a mood or angry, she builds walls all around her and doesn't let anyone near her. I guess that's her way of coping. But when did any issue get sorted out with no communication? I mean, come on. I know I have my faults, and talking crap about someone is not good, but I know Sammy's done the same with me. It's exactly why the employees are split and have to take my side or Sammy's side. But why do I feel bad? Why do I feel like it's all my fault, when in reality she's to blame just as much as I am? I don't know what to do. Man, I feel like such an idiot. I thought we were making progress, but I guess not. I don't know if our relationship will ever be like it is. I'm dreading having to tell our mother, and I don't want to stress her dad's death. The one thing I know she wants is for this family just to be together, and that's not happening. At least, I hope I'm wrong. What's up, everybody? Mr. Reddito here. So today's story is a family drama. I hope you're enjoying your day today. If you're new to the channel, take a second. Subscribe so you never miss any updates. I have a juicy update 1 for you, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. Update number 1. Okay, I'm guessing you're all in the dark about how suddenly our relationship went haywire, even after having somewhat of a repaired relationship, so here's what happened. We spoke at the coffee shop. Things were looking up. The next day, well, work. Good old work. Yay me. Anyways, I think some rat on Sammy's side must have told her about things I've said about her through all those weeks. Look, I did not tell that rat anything directly. If anything, he must have overheard something from colleagues who were just, I don't know, talking about what I must have said. The last thing I would do is jeopardize the relationship I've worked so hard to build. You all know how she stopped talking to me or taking my calls. I don't know if it's just me, but I'm getting the vibe that she wants nothing to do with me. Before I continue anymore, you all need to understand the dynamic at the office. So basically, the office/business was started by our father. He was the CEO, and so he called all the shots for everything apart from a few big decisions that required some of the investors to pitch in. Anyways, the business did pretty well, and Dad bought over everything from all the investors, and now the business is under my and Sammy's name. So technically, we are the owners and co-CEOs. So that means whatever decision taken should be taken by both of us. But it doesn't work like that. I'm a person who prefers peace over winning an argument, which I know isn't the best mindset when you run a company. But yeah, that's me. So whenever we had to make a critical decision, we would discuss it. And eventually, Sammy would call the shots, and Sammy feels that the employee is weird, and we don't hire. Sammy doesn't like the services offered by a smaller company to us. We stop using them. Sammy's friend suggests software, so we go ahead with the software. It's not that I didn't contribute. I did. But my opinions were second to Sammy's. But with the whole cold shoulder treatment, I was getting from Sammy, I think something within me awoke. But I was given a recommendation for a software engineer. And when I checked into her background, it looked pretty impressive. Now, for us to hire, I would have needed to discuss it with Sammy. But given what she was doing, ignoring me, I went ahead, hired the new employee. Let's call her Jessie. See, Jess was amazing. Smart, talented, hardworking. She had a fresh perspective and was really making a difference inside of the company. I don't know about you all, but from what I know, a good employee means it's better for the company. But my sister hated her. I don't know why, but she just could not stand the sight of her. I'm guessing it's with the fact that I hired Jess without checking with her first, but what was I supposed to do? I mean, come on. About a month went by, and Jess had outperformed even some of her oldest employees, and in my opinion, good work needs to be rewarded. That's the only way employees will want to work even harder, which is good for business. But Sammy did not get this. Another reason to prove she was selfish and did not think about the benefit of the company. She did not think Jess deserved a position. Things started to get really bad when my sister found out that I'd been considering promoting Jess to a higher position. She flipped out. This was the first time she would talk to me face to face, but it was a fight, so who am I kidding? She accused me of playing favorites and undermining her authority. I tried to explain that it wasn't like that at all, but she would not listen. Update number 2. So, things only got a lot worse from my last fight with Jess. My sister started sabotaging Jess's work, spreading rumors about her around the office, and making it impossible for her to do her job. I was caught in the middle, trying to mediate and making peace, but it seemed like my sister was just determined to drive a wedge between us and eventually get rid of Jess. Did she realize the repercussions of her actions? Clearly not. I was so done with her drama and self-centered behavior, I stopped taking anything to Sammy. I didn't go to her to get approval for decisions. I didn't find out if it'd be good company or bad. That's how far along I was gone and done with her. You'd think a person could not get any worse, right? But let me tell you, Sammy has the capability for much worse. And then the final straw, my sister accused me of stealing money from the company. Okay, I know she's made me mad and we're having a feud at the moment, but she was flinging accusations that were wild and didn't make any bit of sense whatsoever. Who in their right mind would believe such vile accusations? Not me. I couldn't believe it. I would never do something like that, but she was convinced that I was embezzling funds, and she had the audacity to call me a liar, a cheater, not just behind closed doors, but in front of the entire office. They all knew I would not commit such heinous crimes given my history with the company, which is why I didn't land on the local news. I was hurt, angry, and I knew that our relationship would simply never be the same again. So here I am. I don't know what to do. My sister and I barely speak, and the business is suffering from it. I feel like I'm stuck in a no-go situation. I can't quit because this is my family's legacy, and I'm not going to let my sister just absolutely destroy it, but I can't keep going like this either. I don't know what to do. Something has to give. I just hope that we can find a way to work things out before it's simply too late. But deep down, I know that the damage has been done, and I'm not sure if anything can ever repair the rift between us. Well, as the weeks went by, the tension between my sister and me only grew worse. We would argue about everything, from the color of the new logo to the type of coffee that we served in the break room. I mean, it seemed like there was not getting anything through to her. One day, I walked into the conference room to find her talking to one of our employees. I could tell from the look on her face that they were discussing something important, but as soon as I walked in, she stopped talking and gave me a cold stare. I know I had not let her in to discuss and make the decisions I was taking, and expecting her to let me know what she was doing was just funny. I would have been a fool to expect anything of the sort. I felt like I was walking on eggshells around her all the time. Every time I tried to bring up any sort of idea or suggestion, she just shot it down immediately. To put in short, we were in a power struggle. Not that I wanted the company for myself, that's the last thing I wanted. Two hyenas growling at each other every time we ran into each other at the office. Just snapping at each other over the smallest little thing. I'm sure so many of our employees would have contemplated leaving, given that the business was slipping and not doing as well as it was. I started to feel like I was losing my mind. Was I really that bad of a leader? Or was it Sammy's fault? Who was at fault? I need to know. It wasn't just the business that was suffering, either. Our personal lives were falling apart. Update number 3. Guys, the office, it's a wreck. Everything's a mess, there's no order, and the two people who were supposed to be running the company were just bickering with each other. I just wanted so badly to ensure the business process would just go on as usual. But how? When the two people who were supposed to be calling the shots were not even in the office for half the day. In my defense, Sammy would make all the decisions for the day, approve whatever needed to be approved, and leave the office, and I never had work to do. I'm not finding excuses, or maybe I am, but the office was stifling. And the people who were on my side were oppressed under Sammy, especially Jess. Jess had nothing to do with the first rift between Sammy and me, but that's Sammy for ya. Well, authoritative, dictator, narcissistic, those are the 3 words I would use to describe her, and no, I don't feel bad because that's the truth. Then came the day of the meeting with the investor. We'd been discussing a new investment opportunity, and my sister and I had very different opinions on which direction to take. We did not even meet up beforehand to discuss what we needed to do and how we were to approach this new investment like normal CEOs. The reason we should have done this was that the investor was supposed to come over and sign the deal and get everything done within a day. Our lawyer even drafted the terms and conditions. Now, all that was left to do was ensure that the investor signed. We needed the money really badly because our company was going downhill so fast and it made my head spin. I could not say the same for Sammy, though. I just hope she doesn't pull a fast one. Update number 4. Hey guys, this will probably be the final update, and with this, I'm also out of a job. You see, I'll explain. Hold your horses. This is exactly what happened in this update. Anyways, the investor did not show up till later in the day, and Sammy and I had been in the conference room, discussing viable options on how we could take the investment forward. I wanted to play it safe and stick with what we knew. But my sister wanted to take a risk and just advance into something new, something prosperous. Another reason we always butted heads was because our personalities were oh so different. But that isn't a reason to bicker and bring down a whole company. I don't think Sammy viewed it the same way that I did, and it always is her opinion that mattered. She had to have the final say. We argued for hours, but not to the point of storming out of the room, which was a good thing. I guess it was, because we were both there when the investor entered the boardroom. By then, we were both so frustrated with each other, my blood pressure was sky high, and I was simply so close to exploding. But I just kept thinking about my father and the amount of effort he would have to put in just to get this company up and running. I didn't want my anger or frustration to ruin it. I would never forgive myself if that happened. I'm not sure what's going through Sammy's head because she looked pretty calm, which I guess was a good thing, given that she can be extremely rude when she's annoyed. I wanted to eliminate all possibilities of losing the investor, who in my eyes was a golden opportunity to get our company backtracking funding-wise. The meeting started, and at first, everything seemed to go fine as we briefed the investor on information he probably already knew. He would invest in a company without knowing its facts. No one, right? This charade was close to being over when everything took a complete 180-degree spin turn. Remember how we were arguing about how we should invest? Well, we never solved that dilemma, and it arose at the moment we least expected it to. In front of the investor, just so you all know why we would do something dumb like that, the investor was in the Web3 space, which would be the perfect pairing since our company is along the lines of Web3. Sammy had found a different investor, more specifically an investor in some SaaS software company that had nothing to do with what we had to offer, but she thought we could just, quote, explore some new options. Now that it had come to the time when we nodded our heads courteously and the investor signed, Sammy asked the investor if he fully understand our company and what we have to offer. Well, he was visibly confused. He was in the same market as us. Of course he knew what we had to offer. She proceeded to say that she did not want an investor who did not get our company values, and someone who did not understand what we had to offer 100%. Well, if this isn't an insult to an outsider, I don't know what could have been. I kicked Sammy under the table, smiled at the investor, and addressed Sammy saying that he knew exactly what our company was about and that there was nothing to worry about. I was not going to let that slip from my fingertips. We were so close to the signing, and the whole deal was off. Sammy was not going to stop me. This newfound determination must have clouded my judgment because she asked me if I was sure. It must have been the argument from before, or maybe it was the fact that we were going to lose the opportunity, the only opportunity we had to save the company. But I lost it there. I had completely forgotten the investor was even there, and let Sammy know exactly what I thought during all those months of bickering and fighting. I never told her what I actually thought of her. Never once did I embarrass the way she did to me. Not once did I jeopardize the company to satisfy my ego. But this fight was the climax to everything that we've gone through and was going through right then and there. But I could not let her win. Not this time. I hadn't even noticed the investor had left while we were busy arguing about who was at fault. There went our only chance to save the company right through those double doors. Sammy said I was never important in her life anyways, and if anything, I was just stumbling block in her way, blocking her path to success and financial freedom. I knew with that line, Sammy didn't want me in her life. She didn't want to have anything to do with me. She didn't even consider me a sister. In the end, my sister stormed out of the room, slamming the door behind her. I sat there for a while collecting my thoughts, and I knew we could not keep it going this way. We just had to find a way to work together, or else the company was going to fall apart. But she had clearly shown me she did not want me in her life. Was it even worth pursuing the cause? Update number 5. Hey guys, I thought that would be the final update, but it's been 3 months since our last big fight. Our company went bankrupt, and we had to give the company's assets to the bank. I just wanted to fill you guys in on exactly what's going down. I didn't have anything. No spouse, no children, no family, no job. Sammy and I have completely severed ties, and we don't talk anymore. I haven't been able to land a job for the past 90-plus days, given the whole fiasco, which was, by the way, featured on the local news. That snitch of an investor had given all the details of the fight between Sammy and me and the feud that was going on at the company. I'm not sure how she's coping, but Mother said she just, quote, exists, and doesn't do anything around the house. She moved in with my mother because she simply can't afford rent anymore. I was able to tap into my savings, which could last me for quite a while, or at least until I could find a decent job. Was the whole fight worth it? Definitely not! I lost a company my father worked so hard to set up. Lost it, and I felt like crap even though my mother had forgiven me. But when I think back, I guess it was just inevitable. Sammy is a person you simply can't work with. And even if I had played the whole situation in my head over 100 times, well, I imagine different reactions and responses, it would have ended the same way. The same darn way. My life is a mess, and so is Sammy's, which makes it tolerating my life easier. I wasn't suffering alone. She was suffering with me. And to be honest, I didn't care. Okay guys, so this is one of those stories where it's just like a family drama. A lot of the commenters were taking OP's side and positioning, well, most of the commenters, but I want to know where you guys lay with this story. Go ahead, drop your comments down below. Let's talk about OP, how all this went down, and how you would have done it differently, or maybe you would have kept it the same. If you guys are new to the channel, my name's Mr. Reddito. Welcome. I hope you're enjoying your day, and I hope you enjoyed the content. Just so you know, I post videos every single day, animated, narrated, so make sure to subscribe if you want daily videos. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a fantastic day. Peace.